And it was like therapy to me.
NLS has pretty much anything you possibly want to read. Just can't recommend it enough. It's a free service. It's amazing how much you can get.
I have used every means there is, I think, of getting access to the National Library Service books.
If you want to read in electronic braille, you can. If you want to read on your phone, you can. If you want to read in heartprint, you can.
Everybody can read the way they want to read using this program, and it's a program worth looking into.
For more information about
Hey, welcome in.
Library Service,
Sorry, I got
applying to
sidetracked
participate
looking
in
for the
Library
first audio
of
cut I'm going to
Congress,
play.
visit
Thanks for
loc.gov
thanks for coming to the show. Thanks for
or
giving me your
call
time today.
1-888-MLS.
Should be a layup today with all we've got to work with. So hang with us, and we'll be underway shortly. Here goes the music. Well, it's not a surprise. We knew all along that the Democrats, figuratively, could not ever stand for anything good. They're rampantly pro-abortion. They are rampantly pro-open borders. They deemed the Afghanistan withdrawal an extraordinary success. They put an addled, demented, senile person in the White House and tried to run him for another term. So it's not a surprise that Democrats are evil. Democrats are shameless. But I guess we have new clarity on it now, because not only is it figuratively true that they can't stand for anything good, it is now literally true in the wake of Donald Trump's address to Congress last night. Democrats welded their butts to their chairs and would not stand for a 13-year-old boy who's had 11 brain surgeries because of cancer that was supposed to kill him within 6 months, but hasn't, as he adorably sat next to his father last night and learned that Donald Trump had made him an honorary Secret Service agent. The Grinches on the Democratic side of the aisle couldn't find room in their hearts to stand for DJ Daniel. They couldn't find room in their hearts to stand for Peyton McNabb, a young woman who also has suffered a brain injury, although thankfully not cancer, but her injury caused by a boy playing volleyball against girls, spiking a ball into her head, causing partial paralysis in her face and a permanent brain injury. They couldn't stand for her. They couldn't clap for her. They couldn't clap for the mom who rescued her daughter from teacher's secretive attempt to trans her into a boy. Okay, not a surprise, because Democrats, we know, are all in on the mental illness of transgenderism, particularly when they can put forward an agenda that has enriched many doctors, many hospitals, many drug companies who all line the pockets of Democrats. They could not cheer for a high school boy whose father was a deputy sheriff, killed in the line of duty, when this young man was told last night for the first time that his application to West Point had been approved and that he would be a cadet this fall. They could not share in his euphoria. They could not, Democrats, sympathize with and bring themselves to stand and applaud for the family of Lake and Riley, whose heartbreak is still very evident on their faces, the mom and the sister, who Donald Trump called attention to last night, promising them that their dear daughter and sister Laken would never be forgotten, because now Donald Trump has signed into law the Lake and Riley Act that makes death the penalty for an illegal migrant raping, assaulting, and killing a young girl. I mean, okay, the Democrats have staked out quite a position for themselves as the midterm elections loom in November of 2026. They instead sat in their chairs, pathetically holding up little placards as if the temperature in the chamber was 105 degrees and they needed to fan themselves. I mean, might not be a bad idea. If you can fan the demonic possession away from you, I would highly suggest you use it for that purpose. And the messages on the placards, Musk steals. Yeah, I'm sure the richest man in the world is stealing money. The Democrats couldn't applaud for cutting government waste. They couldn't applaud for closing the border. Take the human touch out of it. Take the human touch. They couldn't applaud. The other day what were they really, really mad about all weekend and into the first part of the week? What were they really mad about? They were really, really mad, really, really steamed about Donald Trump siding with Vladimir Putin and blowing a peace deal in Ukraine. And when Trump talked last night about Zelensky writing a letter saying, you know, peace is possible. I regret what happened at the White House, and we'd like to get back engaged, re-engage, and make that happen. Democrats couldn't applaud for that. Because of course they couldn't. Because the only Democratic position, and it is clear, it is obvious, is that if Donald Trump is for it, they are against it. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be like Donald Trump could be for rescuing a puppy from a frozen pond. Democrats would be like, no, thumbs down to the puppy. They are, I mean, I want to say they're irredeemable. Only my Christian faith tells me that no one is. But there is a time where the Holy Spirit turns off the inner voice inside you and just lets you go to where you want to go. And they have gone there. They have gone there, and they are, as the Bible says of others, delighting in their wickedness. They are delighting in their wickedness and immersing themselves in ever-increasing evil. How did the speech Trump gave last night, an hour and 40-some minutes, longest ever in front of Congress, how did it go over with the American people? Well, a CBS poll said 76% approved of Trump's speech. CBS. Who still watches CBS? To watch CBS, you've got to be a fan of who? Scott Pelley in 60 Minutes? Are they fair to Trump? No. Margaret Brennan on Face of the Nation? Nora O'Donnell on the CBS Evening News? Those are the people who watch CBS still, who haven't had CBS up to their limit, and 76% of them had an approved of Trump's speech. CNN, here's the audio. Immediate aftermath of Trump's speech last night. How did it play with America?
Results. What was your reaction to Trump's speech? 44% of speech watchers in our instant poll tonight say they had a very positive reaction to Trump's speech. 25% somewhat positive, 31% negative.
So 44 and 25 makes 69%. Almost 7 in 10 Americans. There's two polls where it's 69% or higher approved of Trump's speech. Not of Trump, but approved of everything he said, touting his border success, talking about the executive orders that he has signed. 7 out of 10. That's more vote. That's a much higher percentage than he received in the election of the votes. What does that tell you? What should it tell you? If you're a Democrat, it should tell you that more people like Trump now than did on November the 5th. They like what he's doing. But you want to sit there, and this was rich, the women on the Democratic side of the aisle wore pink because pink, they said, was a color to indicate their support for women. Every single woman you saw last night on the Democratic side of the aisle wearing pink as a protest to indicate their support for women voted against keeping men out of women's sports and out of women's locker room. They might be protecting trans women who are fake women, who are men, but they have no interest in protecting actual women. Here is Donald Trump telling it like it is as to where the Democrats stand and what governs every single decision that a Democratic politician makes these days, and probably dating back to the second Trump came down the golden escalator.
That's in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. It's very sad.
It is very sad because the Democrats are supposed to be elected to help our country prosper, to help our country maintain its position as a world leader. They are supposed to be elected to help us flourish. But instead, all they can think about is bringing Trump down.
Clouds and windy this afternoon. Shower and thunderstorm could bring some hail and damaging wind, a high end of 61. Windy and cold, rain or snow shower tonight, low 29.
Utterly crazy.
Windy day tomorrow, those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. Clouds and breaks of sun, the high 40. And then Friday, cloudy with a shower and spots in the afternoon. High on Friday at 47. Partly sunny, chilly day for Saturday. High Saturday afternoon, 42. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
I'm CPA Brad Henneberg with Premier Tax CPAs. And the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year, not just at tax time. During the year, we can actively advise you on your financial and tax planning and other major business decisions, just like an outside CFO. Too often, when you see your accountant only at tax time, we're really only keeping score of what you did last year. We'll prepare a comprehensive tax plan to maximize your deductions and minimize the tax you pay, and present you with money-saving options you may not have ever considered. We'll update your financial position each quarter, so there are no nasty surprises at tax time. At Premier Tax CPAs, we like to have consultations with our clients throughout the year because important financial information is only useful if it's timely. At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call at Premier Tax CPAs at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing conservative TV network.
It's an absolute crazy day.
Home to the largest lineup of free speech champions anywhere. Delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
SNC brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Zumo Play.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I did the research, and since I've been taking the supplement, I am sold on the product. I tell everybody about it. My sister and brother-in-law were on it. They started it in October of last year. I'm very grateful for the product. I tell everybody, I swear by it. Many people that can be on it, I absolutely 150% recommend it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Mike G.
My sister Katie and I love to shop. Well, mostly window shop. She means we're thorough. She means we're bargain hunters. Exactly. But my sister Kelly showed me an article that made me change a really bad habit, just wanting us to do what's right. You see, at one time, I just couldn't stay away from those bargain knockoffs. You know, the handbags and scarves sold on the street. Counterfeit merchandise. Ooh, you make it sound so illegal. Well, it is stealing. Ouch. I wouldn't steal. I didn't realize that this sort of stealing can lead to more Americans losing their jobs. So, no more buying fakes and knockoffs, right? Right. Just honest bargain hunting. Now you're talking.
Remember, counterfeits hurt, but you have the power to stop them. To learn more, go to www.ncpc.org/getreal. That's ncpc.org/getreal. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice.
There are two ways that you can get out of pain if you are afflicted with chronic pain. Number one is never vote for a Democrat. Number two is take advantage of the free consultation at QC Kinetics. There are clinics all over Central Ohio. I'm teasing. If you're a Democrat in pain, probably at what I say on this show, exposing your wokeness, well, let me tell you, the people at QC Kinetics do not discriminate. They discriminate only against pain, joint pain, the kind that's debilitating, the kind that keeps you from taking walks and enjoying life the way you would like to. That's why they offer you a free, no obligation consultation, during which they will tell you about their revolutionary advanced biologic treatment, which is really not more complex, in layman's terms at least, that they withdraw your blood, they concentrate the healing agents, and they re-inject it in your affected area, and thousands get relief. You can check out your free consultation and make an appointment, 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Vice President J.D. Vance will be at the southern border today. J.D. got a workout last night, standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, clap, 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 and laughing as President Trump owned the libs. They live rent-free in his head. JD's trip to the border today will be his second. Kamala Harris went to the border 2 times in her entire 4-year vice presidency. She didn't really go to the, one time she went to El Paso. Okay. So, yeah, JD going to the border where he will not see what Kamala Harris would see. Kamala Harris would go, she would see a lot of illegal border crossers if she dared get close enough. Donald Trump has put an end to that. Donald Trump encounters at the border in 2025, fiscal year 2025. So that starts like, I don't think it starts January 1 or January 20th. But anyway, under Trump at the border, southern border, 8,300 migrant encounters. How did that go for, this is just in Texas. Okay. This is Trump's number is all of the border everywhere. California, Biden only in Texas, 190,000 last year. Trump 8,000, Biden 190,000. The year before, Biden 166,000, and the year before that 156,000, which Trump has done so much in his first 6 weeks in office. We lose sight of inflation. You know, now the Democrats are like very, very concerned about egg prices. We're not initially concerned about egg prices or gas prices. By the way, you notice they never mention gas prices? What are you paying at the pump for gas right now? What are you paying? Alan Rogers, ladies and gentlemen, you're paying like $2.65, something like that. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Were you paying that under Joe Biden? No, of course not. Okay. That's all right. It's great to have Alan on the show. Alan always adds to the show. He listens and laughs at my crazy commentary, which is affirming. I appreciate that. I have talk affirming care from Alan Rogers. There you go. But anyway, thank you. Yes. But at any rate, they never mention gas prices. going down in 6 weeks. It's the bird flu. It's not, yeah. But they didn't care about egg prices when Biden was running egg prices up because of his 40-year highs in inflation. But back to the border, in 6 weeks, Trump has shut down the border. Remember how Biden kept saying, oh, we need new legislation. I just don't have that. Which Trump has fixed that issue. Trump promised to fix that issue. And I don't know, did he ever say, I'll fix it in a month? I'll fix it in 6 weeks. I don't know that he did. He might have, because he's a person who's pretty confident in his abilities. But nobody in the media highlights the decline in gas prices as much as 60 cents a gallon since Trump took office. 60 cents a gallon. How big's your tank? I got a really tiny car at home. I've got a medium-sized car at home, and I have a big truck. Tiny car, 10 gallons. Medium-sized car, 13 gallons. Truck, 25 gallons. I'm saving $6 when I go fill up the tiny car. I'm saving 60. Anyway, I don't want to do the math live on the air. I'm saving. But at the border, he's fixed it, not overnight, but virtually overnight, which led to the most memorable line of the entire speech last night from Donald Trump.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Mic drop moment. He could have mic dropped it right there, but he did not. He went on, and he continued to own them, and he continued to make them look and sound foolish. And this reminds me of a line from MASH years ago, which I know I'm dating it. Frank Burns, the goofy doctor that BJ and Hawkeye were always picking on. They cooked up a phony stock tip, Pioneer Aviation. And Frank, they talked about it so Frank could hear them. And Frank called his broker back in the States, sell immediately all my stock, invest everything in Pioneer Aviation. There was no Pioneer Aviation. And when they told Frank Burns there is no Pioneer Aviation, he goes, why would you do that to me? And they said, to help you look foolish. And Frank Burns responded, I don't need your help. Democrats don't need Donald Trump's help to look foolish. It is absolutely funny. Here's the moment. The great Al Green, not the former R&B artist. This is Al Green from Houston, Texas. My poor buddy Scott, represented by this buffoon. Ponytail, cane-wielding Al Green tossed from the chamber last night.
Small business optimism, so its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
That's your warning. Watch out, Al Green. They're coming for you.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Has Al figured out he's got to sit down yet? No.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir.
You're warned.
Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
That, of course, was all performative. Al Green knew he was coming in. He was like Billy Martin, Earl Weaver, Lou Piniella, kicking dirt on the umpire's shoes at home plate. He was trying to get thrown out, and he did get thrown out. And Trump kept going and going and going, and the libs had a bad night, and they probably have 4 bad years ahead of them.
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump makes a triumphant return to Capitol Hill, addressing a joint session of Congress last night. Referring to the attempts on his life, the president says, "I was saved by God to make America great again." Mr. Trump believes prospects for an end to the war in Ukraine have improved now that both sides indicate a desire for peace talks. And Mr. Trump is defending his embrace of tariffs, acknowledging some short-term pain that he says will lead to long-term gain. Some Democrats couldn't contain themselves during the speech. One of them jumped up, screaming and waving a walking stick in the air. Refusing to sit down, had to be removed from the chamber by the sergeant at arms. Vice President Vance planning a visit to the southern border today, highlighting Trump administration policies that have led to dramatically fewer illegal border crossings. On Wall Street, the Dow down 18 points. More details at srnnews.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over one.
And out of nowhere, I locked up. I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow.
Tax Nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solution.
News, opinion, passion. Here.
This next live read is open.
The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Owning a home is a dream come true, but keeping it comfortable? Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable. More than just a repair company, they're your home's partner, offering professional service that respects your space and your family. For routine maintenance or an unexpected breakdown, trust Temperature Pro to keep your home running smoothly with no surprises on pricing. Temperature Pro, your comfort is our promise.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Into a Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live. Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Into a Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Because truth is not a left-wing value, and the left lies.
Be up in 10
as easy
seconds.
as you breathe. You need the clarity and wisdom of Dennis Prager every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Buy your tickets now at 989theanswer.com for what's going to be a phenomenal night, Friday, April the 25th. Der Dutchman Restaurant in Plain City. Yes, we are bringing Larry Elder in from L.A. to the hinterlands of Madison County, where he will dine on a delicious Der Dutchman buffet, as will you if you buy a ticket. Roasted chicken, roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, noodles, assorted pies for dessert. Drinks are included. And yes, there will be that delicious Amish peanut butter and apple butter on the tables. Doors open at 6 p.m. The buffet starts at 6:30. I dare say there will be people going back for seconds when the program begins at 7 p.m. Myself, Jack Windsor, host of the Windsor Report, 5 to 6 p.m., saving you from egregiously unlistenable afternoon Columbus radio every single day with the help of my good friend Alan Rogers. Get your tickets to a night with Larry Elder, April the 25th, Der Dutchman Restaurant at 989theanswer.com. Leave it to Scott Jennings of CNN to bring the truth to his fellow panelists last night. Democrats did not stand for an array of heartwarming stories, personal stories of individual triumph over tragedy, of dreams being realized, of good news on the border that it's closed and that we don't have illegals streaming in. Of course, Democrats don't view that as good news. Of Volodymyr Zelensky realizing that he behaved like a petulant little kid who's too short to ride the roller coaster at Cedar Point when he was at the White House last Friday. They didn't cheer for any of it. Peace in Ukraine? No. Is Trump for it? No. No. Then war, war, war. Scott Jennings explaining to Democrats why they have a congressional Democrats, a 31% approval rating.
Republicans absolutely voted for this.
Okay, people do not want government waste, that's for sure. But they didn't vote for
they did.
foresters to get fired.
Look,
they didn't vote for the parks to be closed.
Look, you
guys
keep trying to create this fantasy land where Donald Trump is not popular, where Republicans are mad.
Republicans are mad.
Can you name a single Democrat in Congress who's more popular than Donald Trump right now?
No.
The answer, no. The reality is Republicans are so happy with this. They're not upset about it.
No, they
the
are.
American people are happy about what's going on right now because for the first time in a long time, a president said, I'm actually going to reduce the size of Republicans.
I love Democratic panelists telling us what Republicans want. Like, if you knew what Republicans wanted, I presume you would have been able to craft, a better message to attract independents and swing voters in the election. Who did the people on the fence go for? And let me see. How many swing states were there? Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. Did I get them all? Did I miss any? If you're such an expert on what Republicans want, maybe it would have been a good idea to craft a message around that so you could have won, one of the 7 swing states instead of losing all 7. Hilarious. Hilarious. Keep it up. Stay with it. Keep coming out in support of males playing female sports. Keep coming out in support of wasteful government spending. Keep coming out in favor of not drilling on federal lands, which lowers gas prices for everyday Americans. Just stick with it. It's working so well. Now, one of the truly heartwarming moments last night, and there were many, is when Donald Trump introduced us to 13-year-old DJ Daniel. Here is DJ Daniel. I first saw the father of DJ Daniel sitting next to, I forget who it was. It was somebody that Trump had highlighted. And my daughter's like, who's that guy? And I'm like, I don't know, but he's MAGA because he's got like a, red. He looked like a Texas cowboy. I think he is from Texas. But he had on a blue and red shirt with a white star on it, a cowboy hat. That was the dad. And then later on, Trump told us about DJ Daniel. But here is DJ Daniel recounting what he has been through in his young life.
And out of nowhere, I locked up. And then my dad I started going to the slow thing. And he said, stop playing with me. And I started to act slow. And then as soon as he said that, we were speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, no, we're going to have to go on this brain tonight. Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries. And that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. I had 5 months to live. I'm going to keep on going into my gas tanks right now. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's going to call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
So DJ Daniel had a seizure. I can identify. I haven't had as many as he's had. I haven't had as many surgeries as he's had. I've got a scar that's not quite as big as his. This is a little boy. I mean, I've lived a full life. I've gotten married. I've had children. Like, if I cash out, okay, great, no problem. I lived a full life. He's 13. And he's had these surgeries for years. Supposed to, like 8 years ago, he's afflicted. So what kind of empty soul must you be not to applaud, which Democrats did not. They didn't stand, they didn't applaud when Donald Trump said this about DJ Daniel, whose dream is to be a law enforcement officer, who has been made an honorary law enforcement officer by a lot of police forces around the country, as his father has, seeing perhaps, or maybe in reality, sand filtering out of DJ's hourglass and his time on Earth being limited here. He seems pretty healthy now, but you never know. Obviously, if he's had 13 surgeries, it means his tumor's continuing to grow back. Mine hasn't grown back. His has grown back. They had to keep going back in. So Donald Trump has an opportunity to, and this is the best part of celebrity. This is the absolute best part of celebrity, is that you can make someone else feel special by paying attention to them simply because they're in front of you and you've heard their story. So here is Donald Trump doing that, but Democrats, no, because Trump's doing it, they hate it.
In 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Now, you had to watch this live to get the full appreciation for it. Sean Curran is the Secret Service agent who you see in the iconic picture of Trump from Butler, Pennsylvania, with Trump's fist in the air and the blood on his ear. Sean Curran is the guy, the agent you can see standing there. He's now the head of the Secret Service. He goes in, he gives this. First of all, you had to see DJ Daniel's reaction to this. When Trump said you're going to be an honorary Secret Service, and the kid, like, his eyes got wide and he lit up like, did I just hear that? Sean Curran comes in, hands him his badge. The father takes young DJ Daniel, holds him up so everybody in the hall can see him. And DJ Daniel hugs Sean Curran. A little black child, a white Secret Service officer. Like, there's no division between them. There's no DEI. It was really, really touching. Really super touching. Democrats couldn't stand. Couldn't applaud. Here's DJ Daniel this morning on Fox and Friends. You'll hear Steve Ducey ask a follow-up question in the middle of this interview.
I was not expecting that. Nobody even told us, even though that they knew. They didn't even want to tell us.
What would you like to say to Donald Trump?
I like to say thank you to him, and I hope he got his cowboy hat, because I bought him a brown one from Texas.
I like to see Trump in a brown cowboy hat. I would. What I'd really like to see is, I'd like to see Democrats cowboy up and realize that it's getting our country nowhere that you decide to be difficult on every single thing. You can't vote to protect women. You can't vote for the spirit of Title IX. You can't vote for a secure southern border. You can't give Trump's economic policies, his tariffs, which I'm skeptical of, but I'm willing to let him work for a while and see if things happen. You can't, and I know it's totally disingenuous to blame Donald Trump for prices that are purely the result of rampant overspending by Joe Biden for 4 years. But you're telling us all, you're lying to the American people, to your voters, the people you're supposed to represent. Oh, see, Trump's been in office for 6 weeks and egg prices are through the roof. It's disgusting. You're not a public servant. You're an elected official. You're in it for your own power. You're not in it to do anything for the good of your fellow men.
This afternoon, shower and thunderstorm could
Sorry
bring some
about that.
damaging wind, a high at 61. Windy and cold, rain or snow shower tonight, low 29. Very windy day tomorrow, those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. Clouds and breaks of sun, the high 40. And then Friday, cloudy with a shower and spots in the afternoon. High on Friday at 47. Partly sunny, chilly day for Saturday. High Saturday afternoon, 42. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
While Dennis Prager is recuperating, we know you miss your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this hour has helped.
Thursday, the Ultimate Issues Hour.
Not having ultimate issues clarity is like having a map, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is Open Lines.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you, about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to Pragertopia.com and hear all your favorite segments, along with lectures, celebrity interviews, his famous Torah teachings, and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at Pragertopia.com. Pragertopia.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You seize those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
30 seconds.
Think fast.
Live reads my
In the
pillow.
short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at uss.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
You can save big time at mypillow.com right now, across the board, not just on one item, to get you interested and have you browse the site and go, oh, while I'm here buying towel sets, which are on a special at under $30 for 2 washcloths, 2 hand towels, and 2 bath towels. Well, look at that. A MyPillow mattress topper is pretty low priced. A standard MyPillow is pretty low priced. Or Giza Dream bed sheets, Bruce says those are phenomenal. No, you don't have to be lured to the other low prices, because right now the mega sale at mypillow.com gives you the lowest prices on all of those items at the same time for the first time. And don't forget the and, shipping, which used to be free on orders of $75 or more, now it's free no matter what you order. You're never going to get another deal like this. Don't know how long it's going to continue, but I know it's in vogue today. So I would go, if I were you, to mypillow.com and definitely use my promo code, Bruce. So they had their big, they had their demonstration, their DEI demonstration on the Ohio State Oval yesterday. I told you it was going to happen at 1 o'clock. And I wondered how many people they would have to show up. They had 120 downtown. Teensy-tiny, minuscule percentage of the 2.2 million people who live in central Ohio a couple of weeks ago. Then they had, according to the dispatch, dozens of students show up to protest the closure of a couple of the DEI offices at Ohio State. And then yesterday, they were going to open it up to staff and students from around the state and faculty and other, Ohio State students, undergraduates and graduates. They have 61,000 undergraduates. Now, the Cole Barron story in the dispatch says they had hundreds of Ohio State students, faculty, and staff. I think they had 1% of the total. No, of course not. But are they writing about it? Of course they are, because the dispatch shares this view that exorcising DEI from academia is very bad. I'm not surprised, because there's probably a lot of DEI hires at the Columbus Dispatch. I know a few. So I'm not surprised to see they got a very small turnout yesterday, but they chanted and held speeches without megaphones, because Colonel Ted Carter has put a stop to this nonsense since taking over as president of Ohio State. The turkey-necked Christina Johnson would have been all about it, because she herself was a DEI hire. No megaphones due to university restriction on sound amplification during scheduled events. Good job, Ted. They also were very upset yesterday about Senate Bill 1, which, not surprised, because Senate Bill 1 insists upon academic integrity, and professors are foursquare against that, presenting both sides of an issue. Senate Bill 1 would eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion from Ohio college campuses in almost all circumstances, would ban faculty strikes, and institute annual tenure reviews. Yeah, I mean, come on. Once you become a university president, Alan Rogers, my colleague in college, did you ever have a professor who was a tenured professor? Is that right? You're so good at your job, I thought you had to have an advanced degree for that. Okay. Well, I had one. I had a tenured professor at Ohio State, and I remember him well because it was clear he didn't give a rip about teaching. He took 2 days, the first 2 days of a semester one time, of a quarter rather, to go through the class roll and mock people based upon their last names. What kind of last name is that? I remember we had a gentleman in class by the name of Lautenschlager. Lautenschlager? What kind of name is Lautenschlager? And I thought, this dude's on tenure. Of course he was. He didn't have to teach. So, sorry about it. If you have a tenured position, you should not be immune from being evaluated, because you were probably at least tempted to get as lazy as that professor back in the day. This bill, Senate Bill 1, as if those of us who teach are tuned to MSNBC all the time, and we need to switch the dial to Fox News. But that's not how teaching works. Pretty much it is how teaching works in terms of, look at any metric you want. Registered voters, academic types trend overwhelmingly Democrat, Republican. Political affiliation, it's obvious. Okay, so I don't know about your Nielsen ratings, which you watch, but you're clearly more Democrat than you are Republican. And all Jerry Serino's bill does is say you got to present both sides of the issue. They had another professor there, Holly Nizatira, an associate professor of sociology, said she studies, I don't know, Alan, I'm going to tell you what she studies. You tell me, do you think she's a conservative Republican, or there's a tiny chance she might be a Democrat? She studies, are you ready? Here's the clues: genocide, human rights, and the processes states undertake when they are restricting freedom. I don't know. There you go. You're bucking for tenure at Ohio State, making fun of names. I'm thinking she's like super MAGA, going studies in genocide, human rights, and the processes that states undertake when they're restricting freedom. She probably got her face painted in her social media like Trump does on his True Social. She says our research is not impacted by politics. Our research is guided by research ethics, by a pursuit of knowledge, by science. And we uphold these principles, and it's not supposed to be impacted by politics. She said they have already had some faculty members pull out of senior level faculty searches in her department because of concerns around academic freedom in Ohio. If they're concerned about academic freedom, like, wouldn't they be flocking to Ohio State for this bill to force them to be open, honest, and balanced? I would think so. Now, Alan, I got to warn you, you sound a little under the weather today. And so if your nasal cavities are clogged, what I'm about to read you from Professor Markham Pfeiffer might make you cry. Okay? Because Markham is one of the 16 Ohio State professors whose position has been eliminated in Colonel Ted's air raid on DEI, which, by the way, they have over 200 DEI employees at Ohio State. This 16 who were let go and the 2 offices that were closed will not begin to get rid of DEI. Show me you're getting rid of Kwame Jeffries from the law school, and then I'll start believing you're serious about getting rid of DEI. Markham says, he starts, in 1968, 34 young people at Ohio State University refused to accept a world built on exclusion. Because the premise set up front is that nothing has changed at Ohio State since 1968. You're following that, right? The closure of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion marks more than an end of an institution. It is a betrayal of courage and sacrifice for those who came before us. Alan Katranki up. DEI is all of us, he says. To dismantle DEI is to dismantle ourselves, the very values that make us human. DEI initiatives, I'm sorry to do this to you, Alan, you're a good friend, but I just have to share this with the people so they can summon the same sympathy for Markham that I have. DEI initiatives are not merely programs, they are lifelines that transform lives and bridge the gaps of inequality. To tear them down is to abandon the dream of equity, and with it, the people who depend on it. If we allow DEI to crumble, everything it has built will collapse into a heap of rubble, forgotten and buried. I'm sure that'll happen. He says the world will look as it did before, stark and unforgiving, and the progress we will have made will become a distant memory. This is not, Alan, a time for neutrality. Neutrality is complicity. Silence is betrayal. We must fight for DEI, not as a policy, but as a moral imperative, as a reflection of the kind of world we want to leave for future generations. Let us not be silent, Alan. Let us rise, because the fight for DEI is the fight for the soul of our society. This is a fight we cannot afford to lose. Good.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain and it makes sense, you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too. With their 3-week quick start for
a guy who writes like that, I'm pretty sure his class is totally balanced, aren't you? Oh, I should have brought my leftist tears tumbler. All those leftist tears and no tumbler in which to collect them. Sorry about it. Have a great life, Markham, with your tenure and your fat state teacher's pension and everything else. Have a good day.